Challenger Thiago Alves among those in the corner of Jocko.
Oh, that's sunk in. He got it. That's in deep.
There's the foul! That has got to feel good. Brendan Allen submits Chris Jocko.
Episode 23 of the TheRiseSGPodcast, and I'm here today with UFC Middleweight Brendan Allen. Dude, Brendan, thanks for coming on, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it as well.
All right, man. Well, I just want to know, with your fight coming up, how's the prep going and getting prepared?
It's nothing new, man. Heavy days, hard days. My body's worn out, but it's Wednesday, so we're halfway through the week, and we're just gonna keep pushing and being smart and keep getting better.
Yeah, man. Got a couple more weeks into this fight. What are you thinking about going into this fight with Paul Craig? What are you gonna, do differently, do the same?
To be honest, man, it's always about just being the best me that I can be. If I go out there and I'm the best me that I can be, I'm pretty confident that the cards should 98% of the time fall in my favor.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a fight, though, and the reality is that we don't control the outcomes. It's already, it's going to be what it's going to be. We can just control our preparation. So I'm just preparing as best I can to be the best me that I can every single place the fight could go. But I know he's going to want to go to the ground, and I don't really care where the fight goes. As long as I'm the best me that I can be, I'm going to finish him anywhere.
Yeah, dude, exactly, man. Being the best you can be, even during a fight, is just going to be the best outcome. I mean, without the, tactics or anything, I think being the best you can be is just where it's at.
Yeah, man, that's the key. That's the key. Guys are all over the board good. But I've spent a lot of time focusing on techniques for half my life. So sometimes I can just rely on my already existing technical abilities to focus on other things. So that kind of helps me in camps. I can focus on just great cardio or getting stronger or just things like that. So, yeah, just being the best of me. As long as I show up fight night and I feel good about what I've done in the prep, then it's all that matters. I can't control that outcome. The training will show, hopefully. That's all I can ask for is that the training shows, and hopefully the luck's on my side.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a good fight. When you said you think Paul's going to take it to the ground, I'm actually thinking it's, going to be like a stand-up game because I know he's got those submissions, but I'm thinking kind of it'll just go in a stand-up. That's what I'm thinking.
No, man. Once he gets hit, he's not gonna want to do that no more.
Oh, I've seen that too. I've seen that too.
He's tough. He's tough. He could take a beating, but I don't think he's faced someone that can give it everywhere that I can give it, as good as I can give it, and I can take it too. So it's not gonna be just a hammer or a nail type thing. I'm not a guy that's just a hammer or just a nail. I can do it both. I don't like to be the nail, but I can if I have to. I don't plan to be, but
if you have to be, yeah.
I don't think it's gonna be close. Again, if I'm the best me, it's not gonna be a close fight.
Yeah, I mean, both of you guys are gonna take hits, and I think it will be a good war, going into that fight. But as in, Paul Craig switching up divisions and going down from, light heavyweight to middleweight, I'm all in on your side, man, on this fight.
Thank you.
Dude. Appreciate it. Yeah. Always, I think that going to this fight that it'll go to the ground and, you by submission.
It'll go to the ground. I think my goal is to put everything at when I want to do it. I don't want to go on his terms for anything, but
Yeah,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna go to the ground at some point. But hopefully it's on my terms and not his. But either way, it doesn't matter to me. He brings nothing to the table that I haven't seen before or haven't dealt with in my whole time of martial arts. So
exactly.
I'm not worried. I'm not concerned. Um, I'm just gonna be weary of what he brings to the table. Prepare to the top that I can do it, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, dude, definitely. By the way, your audio's a little. I think it's just because it's on your chest, but you're all good. But
It was my hand was my bad, man.
nah, you're good. Don't worry about it. No, I'm thinking, like, I know both of you guys have fought the same competitor in fights, cause when he went, Mooney's, when he went, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but when he went down to middleweight, and what he win in round one, something like that. It
Two.
was two. Okay, yeah, round two. Pretty sure it was submission. Um, yeah, I mean, you guys have gone against the same person. I'm thinking, like you said, you've dealt with guys who, it's nothing new. He brings nothing to the table that you haven't seen already. So you're like well prepared for that fight. I'm thinking, what are you like? What are you thinking if this goes your way? Like, who would you want to fight? Like, what's a big fight that you've always wanted to happen?
I mean, I really wanted to fight Marvin
Okay.
instead of Paul, but it doesn't make sense off of this fight just because he's coming off of a really bad loss,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be looking if as long as I win this fight for a number one contender fight, and so I don't you can't fight for a number one contender fight coming off a loss.
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
don't know who that'll be. They got so many fights coming up. At middleweight, the division's kind of all matched, and we have to kind of see where the cards fall. But yeah, I think after this fight, I should get a number one contender fight next, and then whoever the UFC says that is who it'll be, and we'll probably hopefully do that around March or April next year if I get my way and fight whoever the champion is by the end of the year next year.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I'm stoked to see that. Hopefully, yeah. I don't know who the champ will be. I don't even know if Strickland's gonna fight before the end of the year. I don't know if I think he's not. Maybe
No,
start of the
not,
year.
I think he's gonna fight beginning of next year.
You think Adesanya?
No, I don't think it's gonna be Adesanya. I think it's gonna be the window of Cumshot and Paulo if Paulo even shows up and fights.
Who would you say the first one? Paulo or
Uh, what Cumshot?
yeah? Who's that?
What's his name? Cumshot Chimaev, whatever the hell his name
Oh,
is.
Cosma. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that dude.
I don't know. I don't think. Oh, yeah. Oh, so you're thinking the winner of that fight?
Yeah, the winner of that fight's gonna fight for the belt next year, early next year.
Who you
I
thinking
would
on that
say
fight?
Izzy, huh?
Who you thinking on that fight? Cosma
Uh,
versus Paulo.
I mean, probably Cumshot's gonna win. I would assume because we don't even know if Paulo's gonna show up to the fight. The dude always
Yeah,
talks, and never wants to show
backs
up to
out.
fight.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, I think that's how that'll go. I think Izzy will fight Dricus, and
Mm-hmm.
then
I think Durkis is gonna win.
against Izzy,
Yeah,
nah, bro.
dude. The fight against
Izzy gonna beat
Whitaker.
him up.
The fight against Whitaker was crazy. Like, you know, he's gone. I don't know. I just saw like a different side of him that I didn't think that was gonna happen. I thought Whitaker was gonna end up taking that, and just
Watch.
seeing
Okay, what Whitaker showed up?
not the
Was
right
that the
one.
same Whitaker that fought Izzy
No,
and went 5 rounds with him?
no, but you never know.
Yeah,
Duplessis
it's
was
a fight,
the
man. Anything can happen for sure. But
he was the
you're gonna get
best
Izzy
fighter that
coming
night.
off of a loss, who's gonna be super motivated,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
then you got Dricus. It's probably gonna be like a little motivated because he lost his title shot due to his own stupidity. Um, but it doesn't matter. Skill for skill, Izzy's way, way, way better. And he's he's going to be motivated coming off the loss, especially if it was what he said it was as far as his arms and he just couldn't get his timing. But I still think that was on Strickland. I think his way of fighting is what did that to Izzy. But no matter what, I think Izzy's gonna beat the crap out of Dricus. I think he knocks him out in 2.
Yeah, I kind of see where you're going from. Just because, like, when Izzy's losing a fight and he loses a fight, he comes back strong. Like, super motivated, like in that fight against Alex Pereira. That was,
Yeah.
I didn't expect that to happen with the KO. Like, just out of nowhere. I thought that was, crazy. And he's done that before where he's just super, motivated to get in. It takes a loss to get somebody very motivated just to get into the next fight, and they just start killing it. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even know what happened between the whole controversy with Durkis and Adesanya. I didn't know what happened. I thought it was
Dricus
Adesanya's
turned the
fault.
fight down.
He turned it down?
Yeah, he said his foot was hurt or something like that.
Huh?
But he knew going into that fight with Whitaker that if he won the fight, he was gonna fight in Sydney.
Yeah.
Um, and then he said his foot was hurt going into the fight, so then he didn't want to fight. And boss man does not like when you turn down fights, especially at that level, especially when you knew what you were getting into. So
That sounds a
the
little like
repercussions are going to be what they're going to be.
that sounds a little like excuse. Not gonna lie, even especially towards a title fight.
Man, if you fought with the foot hurt for a number one contender fight, and you knew that you had to fight in Sydney if you won, I mean, and then you talk trash after the fight, like
Exactly.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I
It,
thought I thought Izzy started that though.
in the cage, yeah, but Dricus tries to start fires and then like hide, like he didn't say that, or like manipulate it to where he said it differently or meant differently. But I don't know, man. He don't really stand behind what he says, and he don't really keep the same energy.
Yeah. No, I was
I think
just
he's the worst at that.
I was very fucking confused when I saw that happen because it just came out of nowhere and I was just like, all right, what's going on? It's like I saw it at the end of the fight and I was like, what did like what did any of them do? I saw just Izzy come out there and just start cussing him out and I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, man. That's Dricus. He starts shit and then doesn't like
Okay.
change. Like I said, he just don't keep the same energy.
Mhm.
He talks shit and then tries to play it off or downplay it or say like he didn't say it. And I don't know. The real guys just keep the same energy, so you get what you get. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Dricus fan whatsoever, so I'm gonna be partial to
I
anything other
mean,
than him.
man, he's in your division, so
Yeah, I just think he's like a duck anyway. So he's I just don't like that he's so lucky. Like every fight he's had except for Whitaker, which Whitaker's a great fighter. So it sucks to say, and I hate taking things away from guys, but what Whitaker showed up, it wasn't the Whitaker that normally shows up for whatever the case may be. That's not the same guy that fought Yoel Romero Tice. It's not the guy that fought Izzy. It's not the guy that fought Cannonier.
yeah.
It's not Whitaker. So it sucks. Like I don't like taking things away from fighters. Even Dricus, like I don't like the guy, but I don't like taking things away. When they win, it's a great win. But other than that fight, he was losing every fight he's had in the UFC.
So you
You
thought
can't
he
show me one
lost
where he wasn't losing.
the Brad Tavares fight?
He lost the first round for
Oh yeah,
sure.
for sure.
And then I think that's a screw up on Brad. Brad took him down with ease in the first and kept him down with ease. Like I think halfway through the first or quarter of the first or whatever, but it was easy. And then he never touched a takedown. He never attempted a takedown. He didn't do nothing off of that. Um, I mean that's Brad's fault, but there's a part in every fight where he's losing the fight.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think you could say you're best in the world and you've lost what,
I think a
half
good
or
I think a good fight for him would be Cannonier, Jared Cannonier. I think that would be a good one. I know who would
yeah,
win.
Cannonier's fighting Roman.
Roman. Yeah. Oh yeah, Delize. Yeah, I did
Hmm.
see that. I didn't know. Did that date get set?
I think it's
The
in
second,
December. Yeah, I
second.
think it's December.
I think it's just yeah. I saw like May possibly December 2nd. I think, I think Kanan Weir is gonna win that. Just like in my opinion, I don't know. I mean, yeah, Delize is a different breed, but like I don't know. I think it's.
I think Roman's got a good transition on the ground, but I don't know if it'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
I think they both got power on the feet, but I think
Exactly.
Jared's more polished on the
Mm-hmm.
feet.
I think there'll be like a KO or something, or it's gonna go to decision. I think it's KO by Kanan Weir. Just
Yeah, I mean he can crack. He's got knockouts at heavyweight, light heavyweight, and middleweight. So
yeah,
for sure, it
dude's
could
got
happen. But
pop.
Roman could catch him too. Roman seems tough from what I watched, and he's big. He's got power. So maybe, but like I said, I think Jared's just a little bit polished, too polished there. But I think if Roman gets him down, I think Roman wins there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I'm. I don't know. It's like a close fight. I don't know much about like. I haven't looked at like Roman's like style, like his style of fighting. I mean, I've
Yeah,
seen Jared's. I've seen like most of the middleweight fighters. I mean, I've seen, yeah, Paul Craig. The only only fights I've seen Paul Craig fight was the Johnny Walker one. And, that did not go in favor.
no, he got beat up.
Dude, I didn't know like I've never seen anyone do the side to side punches when he grabbed Walker's leg. Walker was just able to just knock the living shit out of him.
And Walker's big too. He's a big old boy.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know. Craig going down the middleway, it's just like he doesn't know what he's getting into, you know?
Yeah, I think he's not the biggest at 205, so maybe he thinks coming down the size will give him an advantage. But I don't think he understands that middleweights are faster. We're
Mhm.
just as strong.
Yeah,
Um,
I think he's like
we're,
a little like slower as in terms of like he's not like insanely fast on the feet or that's what I'm
yeah,
getting.
I mean we're more cool because we have to be because we are faster for the most part. Don't get me wrong. There is technical guys at 205 too, but most of those guys just have power. It'd be different if he had power
Mhm.
at 205 and come down and carry that power, even though he was slower. But
He
that's just
doesn't
not
have
him.
yeah, he doesn't have
Unfortunately, that's
power.
just not him. So he don't have that. I mean, everyone has a puncher's chance, but overall, he don't have that equalizer
Yeah.
to
The
create that
build up.
power. He has a maybe a medium stage of middleweight power, maybe, or maybe he'd have more power if he was more fluent in his striking or more polished.
Mhm.
But at this very point, he's not. So we'll see. We'll see how it feels.
Yeah, man. I like you said like a little more thinking into that with his, style of fight. I am thinking he's just going to try to go ground just cuz if he's not, powerful at striking, he's probably going to try to switch things up. See some of your past fights, trying to switch into submissions not the best idea for an opponent.
Yeah, it'd be cool if he jumped guard. That'd be lit. So
No,
that's
yeah.
about the only way he gets me to the ground on his terms.
Was that going against Paul Craig? Was that like a fight you wanted, or was it just Dana White just giving it to you?
No, it wasn't what I was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have to fight down, I think it's the best option just because he's the highest overall ranked guy I've ever fought. Because he was number 8
In light
at a
heavyweight.
higher weight class at one point. So
Yeah.
he beat good guys. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not really too focused on that. At this point, I was just ready to fight. I wanted to fight before the year's out,
Yeah, that's
and I turned down the fight with Roman, waiting for something else. So, uh, it was a gamble that didn't pay off. It is what it is.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I do like. I didn't know that you turned down a fight with Roman, but I I think that the Craig fight's a little better, just because both ranked. I mean, yeah, Roman's ranked too, but he's a little higher, a little lower rank.
Yeah, he's set. I think he's 7 right now. So
Okay.
Yeah,
I think he's 7. I'm 9. I think Craig's like what? I don't know, 12, 13, 14, somewhere around there.
13. Yeah. Pretty sure he's 13.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
He's
sorry, it doesn't matter on fight night. They don't those numbers. You don't feel the numbers. You feel his fist. So
yeah. Not the
yeah,
number.
we'll see what happens.
No, yeah. Yeah, I think it's that one guy that Walker fought. Who's you fought him too. Mooney's. I don't know what he's at. I think he's 15 or 14. Something like that.
Yeah, he's probably right around. He's probably. I think Andre's probably 15, probably at this moment. I don't
Okay.
know. Rankings change so much. They're so political, so you never know.
Mhm. Who was Roman's last fight? I'm trying to picture it in my head.
I think it was Marvin. I think.
Okay.
I think it was Marvin Vettori.
Mhm.
I could be wrong.
Then he fought yeah. And he won that. Yeah, you're
Yep.
right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's how it was. And then Marvin went on and fought Cannonier and got beat up. And yeah, now we're sitting where we're sitting.
Why didn't you want to take that fight with Roman if he beat the guy you wanted to fight?
no, he lost to Marvin.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, what am I thinking? Yeah. I don't know why I was
Yeah, he
thinking.
lost to Marvin. But no, I didn't take the fight because we had things in the work that we were waiting on. We were waiting for Dricus to fight Whitaker. And if Dricus would have lost, we would have been fighting him. So waiting to fight Dricus, who was like 5 or 6 at the time, versus fighting a guy who was, I think at the time, was 9-ish, somewhere around 9 or I think 9.
Mhm.
Was just the jump that we were looking for. And by the time all that played out, he had already had a fight signed with Derek Brunson. And yeah, man, it is what it is. Like I said, it was a gamble that we waited for, and
Yeah.
it didn't pay off. This is how life works. Sometimes things just don't work out in your favor, and you get something else. And I got something else, and now he's got a better opportunity than that, and a better opportunity than me. So um, it's just how it happens.
Yeah, didn't Derek Brunson get released? He did, right?
I think he left. I don't think he.
Oh,
I
he
mean,
left.
he asked for his release.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like they fired him. I think he asked for his release.
Damn, okay. Yeah, because there's some pretty
Yeah,
big names that I've just kept seeing on, the roster watch. Because I always look at
yeah.
those just, curious. And I saw, Saint Peruk's, I don't know if he left or he got released.
Who Ovitz?
Yeah.
He's not. From my understanding, he's not released. He's just on a USADA suspension.
Oh, okay.
So they pull him off the roster because he can't. He's ineligible to fight until the suspension's up.
Oh, what did he get suspended for?
He popped on some type of drug.
Oh, really? Damn.
Yeah, that's USADA. So yeah, I don't know anything about steroids or how that works or any of those drugs that you can pop for. Like I don't know what any of that means. It's not my
Dude, that's just.
forte. I just heard that's what it was.
If you're a big guy, that's just stupid if you're going to try to hop on, steroids or something like that to try to make yourself better. You want to be the best version of yourself, and steroids is not the best idea for that.
Yeah, man. They got. I mean, man, it's tough to say. I've been hearing about like more peds and stuff like that, and they have some crazy shit out there. So I don't know, man. They got things to make any athlete better for at least a short period of time.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, some of them are super crazy on what they can do for a human body.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. to each their own. I still think there's a lot of guys on PEDs, even with USADA, just because of how PEDs work and
Yeah.
how fast some of them are out of your like discovery level, I guess you could say.
Or even just like
Um,
strong, just like some with some punches where like if person's like super accurate, and it's just all like damage. I sometimes I think like, oh, I wonder if some like this guy's on something, you know?
Oh, I don't know. I've talked to people that are in medicine and
Mhm.
doctors and things like that that are kind of associated with fighting or fighters or even the UFC, and um it's an ever evolving thing. And I think USADA catches a good bit of athletes,
Yeah.
but I think there's even more athletes that they'll do it and don't get caught.
Yeah, I feel like some people, you know, sneak by a little bit and, you know, they might know and they just don't go up on it. That's
Yeah,
kind of.
like I said, I think as the evolution of testing grows, the evolution of the actual ped grows even faster.
Mhm.
So it's I think it's all as of right now, like I think peds are still like 2 steps ahead where they used to be like maybe 10 steps ahead. So it's coming closer, but it's still the fact that it's gonna be super hard to jump, you know, the testing being better than the actual drug as
Yeah.
far as detecting it.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of like, you know, going into the heavyweight division, I've always thought like in my head if like Francis Ngannou is just like naturally ripped or he was like on something, you know? Cuz just like the power that man had, and I shouldn't say had, he still has it. But just like how huge he is, I just kind of like think, is this man like taking some like some of those guys, you know, like Gon, he's huge, but he's not like all muscle, but it's like,
Yeah, man. They've probably taken something before, and I still think like for me, I think some steroids or peds are muscle memory because I know guys like I personally know people that have taken roids and then they'll be off them for a long time and they still like look ripped and big, and it's just like fuck,
mm-hmm.
man. Like I'm over here looking like a limp noodle, and I've never taken a ped in my life. So,
Nah, dude, that's
um,
a good thing though. Like you're out here like in the rankings, and you know taking people that's you know that are bigger than you or you know smaller than you. That's dude, that's a good thing. If you're not on anything or you know never taken anything in your life.
yeah, but that's where it's like, man, if I did take something,
Yeah,
somebody better watch out.
it's like even like dude, me and my brother always like thought like sometimes you know we ponder on like videos of like WWE, right, and we see people like huge guys like you know Bobby Lashley. I'm not saying he's taken anything or anything.
Oh no, they're 100% taking roids there.
Okay. Uh,
100%.
well, so my brother and me, what I like kind of picked up on that whole thing. So back, he started in like 2006. He joined WWE at 2006. Dude, this man, this was like when it didn't really like matter like crazy. And in like 2006, like even Lesnar, like you can tell Lesnar doesn't take anything now. It's kind of debatable. Uh, but like back in like 2006 or 2005, Bobby Lashley was like vein on vein. Lesnar was
Yeah,
vein on vein, and it was just like Batista, vein on vein. Like
I
they,
think half those guys have talked about their cycles and stuff too. So
mm-hmm.
they've all like roided. I think at one point, everyone in like WWE for all the big timers were all roiding. Man, I think that's pretty fairly known for my understanding at that time.
I thought it was
Um,
kind of illegal for that because they had, I don't know if you've ever heard of Ryback. He was a guy who joined in like 2013, and dude, man was just a freak of nature, but he wasn't. You know, you could tell when this guy joined. They're like, there's no like effing way like possible that this man's not on roids. Like it was crazy.
I mean, when the owner of the business or one of the head guys was
roiding his whole life. Like, I don't know, you just have to know. They know how to get out of it, and like there's always ways to get out of testing. I mean, there's ways to get out of testing for USADA.
Yeah.
So, um, there's always ways out of any testing or anything. I don't think there's at this very moment. I don't know if there could be. I don't know how to change it, but at this very moment, I don't think there's any 100% way to test people to see if they're ever fully on or off any type of performance enhancements. So maybe one day there will be. I don't know
Yeah.
the answer to that,
Yeah, you
but
never know. I think they will like get some type of, machine or something that not I don't know machine, but like a test that's like very accurate, I'm thinking like the next few years there'll be something for like, the sports for I don't know, like all around trying to be just the more
I don't know,
content.
man, because they got peds that only last in your system that you can detect for 7 hours.
Really? Damn.
7 hours is a you just go to bed.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, the evolution of the peds is evolving faster, just as fast or faster than the detection. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I keep it clean. I don't do anything wrong, so I don't ever worry about it. But yeah, I know it's out there. I know the reality.
Oh yeah. Dude, you're going to see it everywhere. Doesn't matter what sport it is. Like I was thinking, cause back in like I'm this is like my last WWE reference, just because you could tell those guys are on something. When Lesnar was like huge, or there's a point where in like 2013 he was, like kind of fat. Not gonna lie, and like now he's just back to lean and veins. So I'm thinking maybe man went back on it, and he's like 50s now. I think, like getting closer.
I
Definitely
don't know, but
his.
there ain't no maybes for sure. He's for sure on it.
There's
That's a fact. I'm sure he'd tell you if you asked him.
really, yeah. I know.
Oh, I'm
Ryback
sure.
comes clean about it because I've seen like him make videos about it. He's like, oh yeah, I like told people straight up, and like, dude, Lesnar was in the UFC, so it's kind of crazy. And I think even in the UFC, he was
He
roided.
was. I think if I'm not mistaken, he failed a drug test or that was the lawsuit. One
Damn.
of what like I think that was the part with the lawsuit with Mark Hunt that Mark Hunt lost here recently, but that they were knowing that he was tested, that he was popped. I think he popped on a drug test, but he's 100% used, 100%.
Yeah. Damn. No, yeah, because like
Yeah,
seeing that heavyweight division back in like 2013, I was like, there's no way. Like even some of those guys, like Frank Mir, I thought Frank Mir was on some.
oh, probably for sure.
Yeah, I don't,
Probably
I don't think it
fucking
was like that
90%.
locked down. Most of those guys got away with it back then.
Yeah, but probably 90% of the roster, maybe even higher than that. It could probably be 95%.
It would have been like
Was on
one
some type of
guy,
ped.
that one guy who gets busted out of like everyone else.
Bro, crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I think pretty much everyone was back in that time.
Yeah,
There was no testing, so yeah, it's highly possible that everyone was on it.
I think it's a good idea that they do it now, though. I mean, yeah, there's gonna be guys that work a way around the system, but it's you know, you want the talent where they work hard for, not something that's gonna make them stronger or stuff they take to make their performance better.
I don't know, man. I think it should be like to each their own. Like, obviously, most, if not all, like I said, I'm not very knowledgeable in the science behind
Yeah, me
PEDs or
neither.
roids or any of that. So, but I know like old steroids is basically like taking years off your life just because of what it does to your organs and things like that. So I mean, I think it should be if you want to take it, then take it. It's on you. I think it should be open across the board. If you
Yeah,
want to take it, that's on you. If you're willing to compensate, you know, the years of your life to do something just now, then it's on you. But I mean, I understand like, okay, if
pro football or pro soccer or something like that doesn't allow it, and that's a mainstream sport, and they're saying they're doing it to keep everyone clean, then everyone else kind of has to follow suit because now we're portraying this clean athlete, clean sport, even though that's really not the truth. Like, I just think some guys, obviously, there's always going to be guys that still take it and get away with it somehow, some way. So I think to equal the playing field, it should always be to each your own. If you want to, you want to. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah.
Because it sucks. It sucks if you're clean because you have to be clean, but you're somehow fighting guys or competing against guys that are not clean and they're able to get away with it because then they clearly have the advantage. Where if it's legal on both parties and he's taking it, then that's his advantage because I chose not to, not because he's just getting away with it.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's totally not fair to a guy who's clean and there's somebody who's taking roids because, you never know, like, what's going to happen. Like, just in, like, power-wise or, like, a man could be taking many shots and not feeling anything. He could be taking something hard. You never know. That's why it's kind of
Yeah.
just sometimes that just pops in your head and you're just like, I wonder if any of these guys are just roided up or, taking something to be fine.
For sure.
No, something that comes to my head. What was going through your mind when you started up your all in MMA program? What was going through your head?
I think it was just kind of my way to give back to where I'm from.
Okay.
Give athletes of where I'm from a nice platform to grow and learn kind of what a bigger show feels like. And yeah, like we're still working on things. Like obviously we're looking productions for next year, and there's always ways to grow. There's always ways to get better. But for now, the way it's ran and what you actually feel is like a bigger regional show.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the goal. And I'm just at a spot in my life where I can do that and give back. Obviously, it's a business, and eventually we'll make some money out of it, and that'll be great. But for now, it's definitely more of giving back because
Yeah.
I don't make a dime. In fact, I lose money every show. So for me, it's about bringing in talent, putting on a very very good product, giving guys close to me that feel. So it's my way to give back to fighters where I know what it's like. I've been it from the bottom to the top. So I just try to give that to the athletes that fight for me, that feel, that respect. The I don't try to take advantage of them.
Yeah. Dude, that's great, man. That's good to give back. Do you do it for amateur fighters or for just professional?
No, there's more AMI fights than pro fights.
Okay.
Maybe when a production deal comes, it might change to where there'll be more pros than AMIs, but there'll always be AMIs on the card.
Nice.
Just because I feel like they need somewhere to grow too.
So it's an
Um,
Anthony Pettis kind of way, you know.
yeah, exactly. We run the same thing. We talk business here
Nice.
and there. He's growing faster because his name is a lot
Yeah.
bigger, and
Mhm.
he got a lot. He's a lot more wealthy than I am. So
Yeah.
yeah, we do the same thing though.
That's awesome though. You guys get to talk about
Yeah,
that stuff.
yeah, man. I like we bounce ideas off each other's head. We'll call each other for fighters. Yeah,
Nice.
we I learned from him. I think he learns a little bit from me. But even if it's not even that, you can learn something from someone just by watching their product.
Mhm.
You don't even need to talk to them. I think you can learn by their product. You can learn from the word on the streets per se,
Yeah.
from athletes that have been a part of it, and everyone that comes into contact with that show. So I think that's the biggest thing. Like at least for my show and where I'm from, like the venues that I use is really really hard to sell out. No one's ever sold it out. I've never sold it out. So getting the word out is the hardest thing where I'm from.
Yeah.
But the actual product itself is very very good. Like I have nothing but uh, great reviews from fighters and fans and
Yeah, man.
anyone who ever come into contact with it. So that's all I can do. I can never guarantee you a great fight. It can look great on paper,
But
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's just like the UFC. They're the best in the world. They can grab any fighter they want in the world if they want them bad enough. So and they're still shitty fights sometimes. It's not their fault. It takes the two fighters to go out there and fight, but um,
Exactly.
somehow we still get great fights. We put on a great product. We have a great show, but we just try to take care of the fighters before the fight and after the fight, and then we try to take care of the fans on fight night to where they enjoy the show um, and just put on a good show. That's all we can do. Make sure everything's top notch from the lighting to the cage to how the venue's set up, how it's ran, being on time, just little things like that. There's a lot of shows that are never. I think almost every show never starts on time, and that's something that we really, really try to do. I think only one time has not been, or yeah, only one time that we've been late was our fault, but that was because a fighter fell out. So
Really.
our two fights fell out, so we had to adjust our time period based on that.
Mhm.
We've been late because the ambulance wasn't there. They got stuck in traffic. Other than
Really.
that, I think we've been on time every other time.
Was it one of like the first fights that got somebody pulled out from? Was that why you guys had to switch up?
I'm not sure. I know that it was on weigh-in day, and one guy didn't make weight by a lot, and
Wow.
so from there we kind of adjust the time because we want to be out of it. We want to be out at a certain time.
Mhm.
So if we have to start a little later, that way people can get in the door and get to their seats. Then that's what we try to do. If a fight pulls, but if the fight card stays the same, we set the time based on that fight card so that everyone kind of knows when they're walking or about when they should fight. That way they can tell their warm up with their coaching and their team, and that way it just funnels how it should funnel, and everyone gets to warm up properly. So when a fight gets pulled or a fight falls out, then obviously that would normally mean that everyone gets moved up and then everyone's rushing and stuff like that. So either way, we like to give them a little bit more time, especially since we're not televised yet. So we have that option to give them more time as well as give the fans more time to get in the door, get their seat, and kind of get comfortable. I guess you could say.
Yeah, man. Dude, that's a really good idea. I know, like you said, Anthony Pettis has his own, amateur fight program. I think it's really cool that you're doing something like that. And yeah, I've seen really good reviews on, you know, your program, and that's really good, man. You got to keep it up. And yeah,
Yeah,
definitely going to get televised one day.
yeah, man. Thank you. Yeah, that's the goal. That's probably the next step. That's where it's up to me to keep growing my name, so it grows that name, and then I have more pull. But yeah, I think that's the next step, and that's what we're looking at next, and hopefully that'll happen. Hopefully that'll happen soon.
Yeah, man. Definitely, after this fight, it'll help. That will help for sure.
That's the goal, man. That's the goal. Hopefully we'll have something for our first event next year, and we'll pick off. We'll take off on that foot, and yeah, either way, we'll tackle whatever it is and keep it moving, keep it pushing, and keep growing. But I only need that deal to grow even bigger than the other local shows and even some regional shows. I think I'll pass. This will be my last show for the year, and I think talent wise, I can hang with pretty much any show in the country regionally. I would like to say, um,
Nice.
but again, I don't have any financial backing. I do it all myself. So if I have that financial backing from a television or a company, a production company, or something like that, game over. Because I promise you, there's a long, long list of guys that hit me up trying to fight, and unfortunately, I can't put everyone on because
Yeah.
I don't have them pockets like Anthony. If I had
Yeah.
those pockets, I'd be doing all right. But no, so I have to budget and just try to find the guys fights that I already gave my word to at some point in time that I would give them fights because I try to stick to my word. So that's where we're on this card. This card coming up is going to be trying to be a budget friendly card, even though they never are. Because I get guys that I want, and I get guys that I promise fights, and sometimes they're really really hard to find opponents for, and
Yeah.
it's just kind of the nature of the beast.
Mhm. No, dude. That's like really good at using, your budget for it. Sometimes if you want like something like a dream, you gotta, have your budgets. It's like you don't have anyone to back you, or you don't have people to pay for your stuff, or help you. Like Anthony Pettis is very like a wealthy man. He can fund all these people, and it's just like if you keep going with it, you're gonna get to that point where you can start funding people, and you're gonna have a lot of money, and it's gonna take off. You know.
Yeah, one day, man. It's just pursuing. It's an investment right now, and um, one day it'll take off. I just got to keep going. It's just like anything else in life. You just got to keep pushing up or downs, no
Yeah.
matter what you do. So, um,
Exactly,
it is
man.
what it is.
Yeah, dude, it's just like what you said, saying like, oh, I take notes from like, example Anthony Pettis's amateur, show, and it's just like me. It's like when I watch other people podcasts, like let's say in like the MMA field, it's just like I take a little notes and I kind of just think like, oh, what am I gonna do better for that, or what am I gonna do the same? I don't want to copy this person, but I want to like, you know, try to do like a good job on what they do, or try to make it even better. What I'm gonna try to,
Right.
or try to do my own thing, try to see what other people like, or I just try to do this for me. And I know you got this program, and you're trying to go off your dream with that, and best it's gonna go really good for you, man. And I know it will. It's just
Thank you, man. Yeah, that's the goal.
yeah. No, everyone's got that, patch when they start up, and then once it, you know, boom, that switches off, it's gonna keep going, and it's gonna get better and better, and then you're
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Exactly right.
Yeah. Well, last thing is, so for Rise SG, we have our Rise, so it's like your why moment. What got you, like, what's your why coming into UFC, MMA? What's your why that it could be who, it could be what that keeps you motivated every single day and keeps you going?
Uh, I think at this very important time, it's just my family, money, family. Again, I think for me, fighting is when when the bad outweighs the good, then I'll be done. But for now, obviously, the good outweighs the bad in terms of many things: money, time, responsibilities, just everything. Fighting outweighs the goods outweigh the bad. But obviously, I keep going because of my family. I got kids I need to feed. Um,
Exactly.
well, I like want my family to be proud anyway too. So, uh, yeah. Plus, I enjoy doing it. I like winning. It's a love hate relationship, but as
Yeah.
far as fighting, but at the end of the day, I've put so much of my life into it, and I'm just starting to see the rewards and the benefits. So I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, man. Dude, definitely. Your family's a huge, factor in, getting into a sport like MMA. You know, they may not think like at first, like I know for facts, like sometimes parents are like, oh, you're getting into this. I don't think that's a good idea. They think of another plan for you. Some people try to do that, and it's just like, or eventually when it starts showing, they're gonna be there for you, and like no matter what, even if you choose that decision, and having your family members and like people that care about you is just the main goal. It's like eventually they'll be on your side, even if they don't agree with it or not.
Yeah, man, it's all about a support system. I think again, in anything you do, a support system is always nice to have.
Yeah, definitely. No, support system, and you know, your people who support you the most are the people you want to keep in your life. It's kind of where I go off of it. It's if they don't support you and they kind of come when you're growing and you're getting there, it's kind of just
Right.
like there's no point they should be there. That's just like my,
Yeah.
and a lot of people do that, especially in this day of age. A lot of people fucking do that. It's
All the
crazy.
time, man.
It's just
All the
crazy
time.
how it's like you see people text you like, example like if so, I went to Vegas and then people were like, oh shoot, like bro, you hung out with this guy or this, like dude, I'm so like stoked for you, and like oh I'm excited that like we should hang out again. And it's a guy who tells me, oh you couldn't do this or something like that. No, yeah,
Yeah, they were talking mad shit behind your back when it was going on, man. That's how it is, man. Everyone's a leech when you're growing,
mhm,
and they know where to be found when you're at the bottom. So
yeah,
that's why for me it's a small circle. I don't trust anyone
exactly,
that ain't in
dude.
my circle, and
No, it's got to be those
that's it.
people you can know for a fact you can trust them because like you know I've heard like some people when someone tries talking behind your back and your like true friend like sticks up for you or you know they like start you know defending us or something like that, that's when you know you need that person on your side, something like that. You
Yeah,
know it's a very slim chance, it doesn't happen as much just in this day and age, but that's the right person. It's not going to be somebody that, you know, you've always wanted in your life that wasn't on your side. They got to be on your side since day one. They weren't on your side since day one. Nah. They're just leeching, like you said.
yeah, that's it, man. That's how it is nowadays. It's just gotta be wary.
Yeah, man. No, I definitely agree. But, dude, appreciate you coming on for the podcast. It was awesome having you on, dude.
Oh,
Everybody, this was season 1, episode 23, Rise SG Podcast. Thanks for
thanks,
coming on,
bro. I
man.
appreciate you having me, man. It was a pleasure.